All right, you guys, let's see here. Let's get this camera straightened out. My hair keeps disappearing into my green screen today, but that's okay. You know it's there. It'll be fine. Let's go check and make sure we're streaming live on YouTube. Looks like we are. Fantastic. It's our last video of the school year, you guys. Can you believe it? We have made it to the end. So you will not hear from me, at least in this format, until in August, right? Which is nuts. So let's talk about what's happening in classes this week. We do have kind of an odd week. You'll see there are no classes, no regular classes. So if you normally come at 4:45 on Thursday, you normally come at 6:30 on Tuesday. Those classes are not meeting. We do have open studios that are happening on both Tuesday, which is today, right? Tonight, or Thursday night at both of the studios, and that is for our drawing and multimedia students. So that's happening this week. We just ask that you sign up for those. That counts as your fourth class for the month of May. Not required. We have finished all the lessons. We have finished all the projects. As long as you're done with those, there's nothing that you need to make up. But if you'd like to come in for an open studio, the instructors are going to have some fun stations set up as we kick off summer together. All right. So just real quick, we're going to go through everything like we normally do. Preschool fundamentals, no classes this week. You guys wrapped last week. So you should have taken home your pigeons, you took home your journals, you took home your little clay fish, anything else that you had in the cubbies, any unfinished projects, they all went home with you. Now, if you missed that class, we still have makeups available if you want to come in and do a makeup. We're going to talk about that more in housekeeping. But if you missed it and you're like, I don't need to make it up, but I would like my stuff, you can reach out to us and we'll coordinate a time for you to come pick that up. We will hold on to stuff usually through the summer, but after that, it either goes in the trash or recycle or donate. So, and that goes for kind of lost and found stuff as well. We got a lot of coats mostly at the studios, and those will probably head to the lost and found here during our housekeeping kind of week that we do in June. Okay, so just know that come get your stuff if you've got it here. All multimedia classes. So last week we finished our metals projects. If you were in class, you would have taken home either your metal sculpture for K3rd, your flying beast sculpture if you're in 4th, 5th, or homeschool, and if you're in the older kids, 6th, 7th, 8th, 12th, it was the wire wrapping sculpture. So those should have gone home with you last week. If you didn't finish it, maybe you just need some more time. Maybe you missed a class during the month of May. Maybe you missed last week. We do still have makeups available. Now, if you come to Open Studio, we'll try to get you done during there. But if you're like, I'd rather play with all the fun stations, that's understandable too. So we do have makeups available. We're going to talk more about it in housekeeping, but they are happening as like normal schedule this week. And then we're going to take a week off and then we'll be back for June and we are going to have not a normal makeup schedule, but definitely some available for you. Now, if you missed a class, maybe you missed last week, maybe you're going to miss Open Studio, but you finished all of your projects, there's nothing that you need to do for a makeup. So if you come for a makeup, we're going to say, what do you need to work on? And you're going to be like, nothing, I'm done. And we're going to say, cool, time to go. The makeups are just if you have like something to do. Because I don't have anything for you to do if you've finished your project. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, reach out. Creative Explorations, you guys also finished last week. So we had our last class on Wednesday at Flatwoods, on Friday in Liberty. Just like Preschool Fundamentals, you should have taken home your journal. Any projects that you've made, anything that you've got in progress should have all gone home with you. Now, if you missed that class and you still have to come grab your stuff, or you missed a different class in May and you want to do a makeup, that same like scenario still applies that we talked about in the last two sections. We're going to do makeups this week, just like normal, Wednesday in Liberty, Friday in Flatwoods. We're going to take next week off because it's our staff vacation week. And then we've got more makeups in June by appointment only. So there's a Google form on the website where you can sign up to let us know that you want to make up, and then we'll coordinate our schedules, like if you're in summer school or not, that kind of thing. All of our drawing classes. So all of our drawing classes finished their lessons, they finished their projects, they finished their trading cards, and they should have taken their sketchbooks home last week. This week, we invite you to come for our open studio. If you want to spend open studio time working on like a wild card week drawing, if you want to work on those trading cards some more, bring them back. If you want to draw like with a still life, I'm sure we'll have a still life set up. but there will also be other stations for you to do. So those open studios are happening tonight and they're happening on Thursday. We'll talk more about them in housekeeping. We just ask that you sign up for those. And if you're out of town, because we know a lot of our local schools are done, like you left town, you're gone, there's no need to make up that open studio unless you have a lesson that you need to work on. Okay. For our housekeeping, let's go over this really quick. So again, no regular classes this week. Open studio for our drawing and multimedia students counts as your 4th class. So you're welcome to come and join us for that. We'd love to see you as we end our school year on a high note. If you miss Open Studio, there's no makeup for Open Studio itself. But if you have to do a project or if you have to do like a lesson from drawing class, then definitely do a makeup. Here's how the Open Studios work. So we've got a PDF that you're going to open up, and then each one of these is a link for you to sign up. So you click the little like button, like this little blue button or this little blue button, and it's going to open up so your registration page for $0, and then that puts you on our roster so we know who's coming and we know who's in our building. It's just safety, accountability. So if you can sign up, that would be amazing. If you are out of town, again, there's no makeup for this, but we do have makeups available this week, Wednesday and Friday at Flatwoods. So Wednesday in Liberty, Friday in Flatwoods, just like normal. On the website, which I linked in the housekeeping, on the website when you go to it, at the top is the section you always see. It's like, here's Liberty's, here's Flatwoods, right? The next section below it is like a deep teal color. And it's a band that goes all the way across the screen. And it says, if you need a makeup in June, let's say you're out of town this week. So like you can't come do your May lesson that you missed. So you need one in June. You're going to click that button because then that's going to ask you just some very open-ended questions about what your schedule in June looks like. When we're going to work with each individual person on what they need to do, how long we think it's going to take, and then who we have in the building. So we're not here necessarily during those normal makeup nights. And even if we were, we don't expect to have the volume of kids that makes sense for us to have 2 to 3 instructors scheduled. So we'd rather put you in places that works best for your schedule and works best for ours. And so if we have, let's say, an art in the afternoon class happening, means we have a teacher here teaching, and we also have another front desk staff member here, because we always have 2 people in the building, then we might have you come in during that art in the afternoon class, because you can work with the front desk person to finish up your project, and that just works well for us. Now, if you're in summer school, that may not work, so we might put you during our evening classes, but we'll try to get that scheduled that works for both of us to get those projects done or those lessons done. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, send me a message. All right, last thing, fall enrollment begins August 1st. So if there's a spot on the website that you can sign up for fall news if you're interested, and you'll get emails from me that say like, hey, we're posting the schedule. So if you're like, I would really like to know when the schedule get posted so I can plan my fall. When is the 4th and 5th grade class? When is the homeschool class is going to happen? We'll post that right around July 1st to July 4th. I usually say July 4th, but it's up by July 1st. So those will all go out. And then we'll like reveal the Studio Club shirt. I think that's like maybe the 2nd week of July, where we talk about the Studio Club promo and the shirt design and all of that stuff. So that goes out in an email. And then you'll get an email probably a couple days before we sign up. That's like, hey, just a reminder, registration goes live in 3 days or whatever. And then you'll get one the morning of registration. So it's not a ton of emails, but if you would like those, there's a spot on the website that you can sign up for that. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think that's it. You guys, it says next week, but I should have changed that slide. Not next week. We'll see you next year. You guys have a great one. I'll talk to you soon.